Twins theme today. And he mentioned Tony Oliva in the audience. We'll get to Dick in a minute. And that Ken Hrbek. Game 6, St. Louis. Series still in doubt. But that was just part of who he was. And today he's here, not just to talk about playing first base, but to talk about a friendship that he formed about the same time he came into the big leagues with our honored guest. Ken Hrbek, come on up here.
Must have been a shortstop. That was good.
Herbie, we know your profile, but we were talking out there, and we were talking about Joe Mauer. I said, your impressions of Joe Mauer. And he said, he just made it look so easy. And I thought, as I came in here, and I thought, what about Don Dick Bremer? He always made it look and feel so easy, didn't he, when he was in the broadcast booth?
Well, I've known Dick a long time, and as everybody else listening to the TV broadcasts, and he got to talk about me a lot when I played. Probably all my years except for one, maybe, was it? My first year. 81 I started playing, and then Dick, I think, started in 82, 83? 83, yeah, okay. You didn't get to talk to me about my... Now I get to talk about you a little bit. So get ready. Yeah, we formed a great friendship right away. Dick being from Minnesota, being an avid outdoorsman, which people know that I love to hunt and fish, and Dick is a hunter and a fisherman himself, so we kind of hit it off right away. But I think the thing that impressed me about Dick the most was the way he liked going to the ballpark and being a fan. And he always said, I can't believe they pay me for sitting up here talking about baseball. And he really loved his job. And today he still loves his job, he just doesn't have one. Now he's a retired guy, so I have to teach him how to...
Yeah, you teach him how to retire?
Yeah, and believe it or not, in August, it'll be 30 years since I put a uniform on him, believe that. So, and Tony, you know what it's like to be not in baseball. Tony hasn't been in baseball for what, 100 years now? Tony, the last time he played? 120 years. And that guy was my idol when I was growing up here in Bloomington, everybody. I idolized Tony Oliva. And my first time I went to spring training, they told me to go down to the batting cage. And who's in the batting cage in minor leagues but Tony Oliva showing me how to hit. It was like, oh my God. I was nervous as heck just because I had Tony, my idol, helping me how to hit. So it's pretty cool how baseball stories, like we were talking earlier, things go on and on. But back to Dick, he loved his job, and I could tell he loved his job. Just because he suffered with us, and believe me, we suffered. We suffered a lot. I know TK tells a story about Dick. Tom Kelly was on the broadcast a few times with Richard. If you remember, he called you Richard. Didn't call you Dick. A lot of people call him a dick, but anyway. But TK. I know he came up to you that one day and told you on the airplane that how hard it was to announce baseball games when the team was playing so bad.
Yeah, he had appreciation for it, didn't he?
Exactly.
After he worked with him in the booth.
Yeah, after going up to the booth, and you can understand why Dick was a little bit upset the way we played at times.
Yeah. And
TK would hear about that, and he would get mad because Dick said something, but now Dick is in the booth, or TK's in the booth with Dick going, man, I want to say something bad about these guys, man, really bad. But it's so hard to do. But Dick was a fan. He loved doing the games, and I don't know, I miss him.
Yeah, I do. We all do. But it's just so great that you have these pieces of the Twins fabric. You're one, he's one, Tony's one. And I don't know, I grew up here. I went to Met Stadium, all that stuff. Saw Tony when I was a kid, all that stuff. And it's just so cool that that's a piece of Minnesota. The three of you that are here today, it's something that gets us through the summer months. And I don't even know if you guys realize how valuable that is. Is that not true? You guys get us through the summer months and you everything on the table. Before we bring Dick up, give me one good outdoor story with Dick.
Oh boy, one good outdoor story. I guess I have to tell my first Canadian goose I ended up getting. We went out to, it was in Monticello.
Montevideo?
Montevideo, I'm sorry.
Lakeville?
Dick asked me if I wanted to go out hunting out there. So back in the days, this is probably what, 82, I think is what it was. It's in Dick's book. So if you haven't, Dick talks about it in his book if you haven't looked at his book. But we go out hunting, and when you shot a goose back then, that was a big deal.
That was a trophy. That's why you had to go to Lakeville.
There was like rats around here. Yeah. To get rid of them. But we went out there. I showed up in a blue Nike jogging suit to go hunt geese. And Dick was surprised that I showed up like that because I was a hunter. But we're sitting there. First goose flies over. I shoot. It falls down. I lay my gun down in the pit, go get the goose, and the goose takes off and he's running around this field. I'm chasing this goose around. Now I know why I had my Adidas on there, because I'm chasing the goose around. And Dick always ribbed me about that at my first time in. That goose is probably displayed on my wall in my basement because the first goose I ever shot. And I think about Dick every time I look and see the goose. I named him Theodore, so I don't know why. But that's my hunting story with Dick, but we've spent many times on the water, both frozen and salt water, and shot a few pheasants in our days too, and it's always been a pleasure hanging out with Dick. Matter of fact, another story, we were fishing on Alexander's, where you have a place on Alexander. I was fishing with a buddy of mine, and we were 500 yards away from this other boat that was fishing. All of a sudden I hear this voice. And you can recognize that voice going across the water 500 yards away. And I said, that must be Dick fishing. Like he was announcing in our boat. And you could hear him talking to his buddy, and he right away it was Dick Bremer's.
Fancy meeting you there, huh?
Yeah. I just happened to be hanging out on the same lake.
Well, Herbie, you know him so well, and he is our featured guest, but he is an icon, and like I said, he made it look easy all those years. I had the pleasure of working with him early in my career, Midwest Sports Channel, go for football games and Twins pregame shows and all that, and it was such a, I told him this after the season when I was walking out. You might not remember, the last game of the year, they lost to Houston, and he was sitting on the right field line there, and I said, man, every year, you get better, and I don't think you can get any better. Because you make it so easy, and you deal with all these different partners that you have along the way too, you know, which is, in broadcast terms, it's really difficult. But you made it look easy because you worked so hard and you cared so damn much about Minnesota. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, our feature presentation today, Dick Bremer for a very special award.
Thank you so much. We're very honored to present you with this beautiful award, the Essential Champion Award. Dick Bremer, congratulations. Thank you for your service.
Thank you all very, very much. As I told Mike and some others here before we got started, I really have been lucky because I got to do something very few people get a chance to do. I mean, there are 30 teams out there, and that means there are 30 TV play-by-play guys. And I got to do it for a long time where I wanted to do it because the Twins were my hometown team. I have vague memories of the first game ever played. Tony wasn't even with, that's how long ago it was. Tony wasn't even with the Twins in 1961. But I never dreamed I'd be able to do something that I love to do for 40 years. I actually thought that I was going to make my mark in the Twin Cities media market as a sportscaster at Channel 11. That's what brought me here from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And here's how long ago that was. The call letters were WTCN, a long time ago. And I thought I was going to help that station get its feet on the ground in terms of TV news. I probably should have known I didn't have much of a future with that or with the station because right before I got there, their promotional slogan to try to get people to at least sample Channel 11's news was, if it's happening in the Twin Cities, it's news to us. taken a lot of different ways. And most people took a look, they don't know what's going on, and they have to switch the channels. But I started with the Twins, as Kent said, in 1983. Was blessed to do this for 40 years. I am the answer to a trivia question, and it has absolutely nothing to do with my abilities or lack thereof as a play-by-play guy. Who is the only baseball announcer to work with 5 Hall of Fame players? See if you can name them. Harmon Killebrew, Bert Blyleven, Jim Cott, Paul Molitor for just 1 year, and Jack Morris. Okay? And so I just had a blast learning about the game from those people, the Torrey Hunters of the world. Kent and I did work together for 1 year. Just had an absolute blast. And I know that when you work with that caliber of player, former player, they're the stars of the show. And so I was really blessed to work with some of the best baseball players that ever played. Highlighted, I guess, by my 25 years with Bert Blyleven. I've not worked with Bert now for 6 or 7 years, and I'm slowly regaining my sense of smell. But the highlight of those 25 years was certainly the Circle Me Bert phenomenon. Anybody here circled by Bert? Okay. So you know what the deal was. He'd use the telestrator to circle Twins fans. Now, it was a kind of a spontaneous thing. And sometimes when you do things on television spontaneously, it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it was a good idea, sometimes not a good idea. This was a good idea, the Circle Me Bert phenomenon, and having him and him alone do the circling. Because frankly, Circle Me Dick just does not sound good at all. Anyway, the last few months have been an absolute joyride for me. I am enjoying retirement. I've played a lot more golf than I ever was able to. I've been fishing a lot more than I've ever been able to. But I've been in contact with Twins fans on a daily basis, and you all have been so very, very kind. I thank you all very, very much for your support for 4 years.
Wow. Like I said, we were lucky, weren't we? Yeah, we were lucky. Chad Lammerts from Cross Services. Where are you, Chad? Right here.